Hi, it's Scott. ROCKFILE back with another podcast review for you. Going to talk about the Shout Factory 4K edition of John Carpenter's 1998 film, Vampires. Turns out John Carpenter had always wanted to do a vampire movie. He said you do one of two things. You either make Dracula really, really good, you just remake that one, or you do something completely different. And that's what he tried to do. It was based on a book by John Stakely called Vampires with a $sign in the S. Sandy King produced it like she did most of John Carpenter's movies. It starred James Woods, pretty much his only action movie role. Daniel Baldwin, Cheryl Lee, Thomas Ian Griffith plays the bad guy, a martial artist. Maximilian Schell. Big cast, really well. $20 million budget, filmed it all in like New Mexico and stuff like that. I got to say, if you're going to pick up the 4K, do it, because the opening shots while the credits are rolling with all those, it's either sunrises or sunsets. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just amazing cinematography. Outside in the desert, sunrise or sunset, those reddish hues looked amazing in 4K Dolby Vision. Wow. Impressive. I wish this had got an Atmos mix, but other than that, the 5.1 was solid, and it's got a lot of new extras on it. If you're a fan of the film, pick it up. Don't even think about it. I'm a John Carpenter fan. This has not been like one of my favorites when I saw it in the theater back all those years ago in 1998, but watching it now, it's pretty even from him. Like it's solidly directed, acted, filmed. The action is good. A lot more violence than I remembered in it, which is good. I thought it was pretty good, actually, watching it now. A movie that came out in October of 1998 is holding up pretty well. John Carpenter, like he did for a lot of his movies, did the music too, which is great because he got some pretty famous musicians from like the guys from the Doobie Brothers and stuff to do this kind of almost country rock soundtrack that it fits very much the theme of the movie. You got vampire hunters. The movie starts with them trying to take out, there's a group of vampire hunters. They're trying to take out a nest. And much like the original Mission Impossible movie, a lot of the team gets killed off in the first third of the movie. And we have to go on and try and put a team back together and try and stop the main bad guy. To get 6'4" Thomas Ian Griffith to play the bad guy and not get him to do martial arts, which is what he was doing at the time in movies, gave him a different kind of quality than you would get from most actors playing a vampire, because he very smooth movements, and he did the fight scenes and stuff with, he just looked great doing it. It turns out they had to give him hair extensions and stuff. The interview with him now is very interesting. He seems like a great guy. There's also a new interview with John Carpenter, new interviews with some of the other actors, the people that did the special effects, all that stuff. A lot of extras, including an old making of from the original, I guess, DVD or Blu-ray release of Vampires. The movie, I liked it. I'd give it a 3.5, maybe even a 4 now, because I like it better now than when I first saw it. Maybe because I've seen it more, I knew what to expect, but like Cheryl's performance, Cheryl Lee in this movie, is incredible. I think she does a great job. And then you hear some of the behind the scenes. She really wasn't totally prepared to play this kind of role and jumped right into it. James Woods talks about how he just wasn't, at the time it was the Schwarzeneggers and the Van Dammes of the world, and they picked him to be an action movie star, and it's his only lead role in an action movie, and he had a blast doing it. The fight scenes, the blood, the prosthetics, and like I said, there is a lot of violence. The movie plays out kind of like you would think, but they do some twists on the whole vampire legend and psychic connections and things like that. But all in all, it's a John Carpenter movie. And if you like his movies, well, this is another one, and it's one of the better ones, I would say, by now. It did not do well back in the day. It only made $20 million on a $20 million budget, and it's sitting about 40-50% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I think looking back now in modern times and what we have for horror movies and vampire movies and that kind of thing, this one is a different animal. Kind of wish, I was going to say I wish there was more. There actually were 2 straight-to-video sequels that were both terrible. The second one had John Bon Jovi in it for whatever reason, but never saw those. This is a good package from Shout Factory, and it's coming out in a steelbook, too. They've put all of the original movies that are now coming out in steelbooks on sale, I guess, to move them out. And one of my favorite shops, HamiltonBook.com, has a lot of them. But this I actually got from Amazon when it was on sale. It came in a couple days. It still had a slipcover on it. Got the extras on the Blu-ray. The 4K just has the movie, a fairly high bit rate through the whole thing. Blacks looked incredible. Like, that was one of the first things I noticed, the different levels of black and like some of the darker scenes where dark shadows were a little more gray, but clothes were a little more black, and true darkness was blacker. there's gradations of the different grays and blacks like you don't see in a Blu-ray just because of all the different color enhancements that HDR brings. I think the movie looks probably as great as it's ever going to. It sounds great. It's got a lot of extras. So I think it's a package worth picking up if you like the movie. And I enjoyed revisiting John Carpenter's Vampires. It's nice to have a John Carpenter vampire movie that holds up. I thought it was pretty good. Scott, I'm ROCKFILE. More podcasts on the way. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a spectacular day.